That can't go unnoticed. It's easy to believe that blessings only come through money or accomplishments. But the real blessings from God go far beyond that. They are deeper, more meaningful, and longer lasting than anything the world could ever provide. When God places His favor over your life, you begin to feel it in how your heart shifts, how new chances begin to appear, and how your life starts reflecting a stronger sense of direction. But how do you truly know when God is blessing you? There are clear signs, signals that go beyond what you can see and reach into your soul. First, you start feeling a deep sense of calm. This calmness doesn't mean that your problems go away, but it means that God is right there with you in the middle of them. Even when the storms of life continue around you, inside your heart you feel a peace that nothing can shake. It's a peace that people can't understand, a quiet strength that keeps you standing when life tries to bring you down. God's blessing becomes like a shield for your heart, helping you stay calm during uncertain times. Even when you don't know what's coming next, you feel safe knowing He is leading you. This peace is a gift from God, a sign that His presence is with you and that you will never be alone no matter what you go through. Next, you'll start to see opportunities showing up in your life in ways you didn't expect. The doors that used to be closed in your personal life, your job, or your relationships suddenly begin to open. It feels like an invisible hand is guiding you, putting you in the right place at the right time. This isn't luck or chance. This is God working behind the scenes, setting you up for what's meant for you. These blessings might show up as new people entering your life to help and encourage you, or as amazing chances in your career or personal growth that seem unbelievable. But when God blesses you, He clears the path ahead, and suddenly you find yourself stepping into things that once felt too far away. Then comes a shift inside you. Your character begins to change. Blessings aren't only about what you get. They're also about who you grow into during the process. When God blesses you, He doesn't just hand things to you. He shapes you. You'll notice yourself becoming more patient, more caring, and more understanding. Your ability to love and forgive grows. The way you think, act, and treat others begins to match more with how God wants you to live. You'll see that blessings aren't always about material things, though those may still come. They're also spiritual. The qualities of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, start showing up in your daily life, and others will notice. This personal transformation not only uplifts you, but it also becomes a blessing to the people around you. Because when God blesses you, His light shines through your words, actions, and presence. As God continues to bless you, you'll realize that your goals and desires begin to shift. The things that used to seem important, like status, money, or validation, start to lose their value. Instead, your heart wants to serve Him and walk in His plan. The more He blesses you, the more you understand that His purpose is better than anything you had imagined. You start feeling a deep satisfaction, not from chasing after quick rewards, but from living in His will. It's a kind of peace and joy that only comes when you know you're exactly where you're meant to be, doing what you're supposed to do. That kind of fulfillment is the greatest blessing of all. When God blesses you, the change is not just on the surface. It touches the very center of who you are. You find peace even when problems surround you. You see new doors open where you once hit walls. Your heart and mind grow stronger, and your hopes begin to reflect God's purpose more than your own wishes. These are the signs that you are walking in God's favor, that His blessing is over your life. And when that happens, everything begins to shift, and you will be in awe of how His blessings show up in ways greater than anything you could have dreamed. When God blesses you, one of the clearest and most powerful signs is the deep peace that covers your heart and thoughts. This peace doesn't come from avoiding life's problems or pain. It comes from God's presence. It's deeper than anything the world can offer, and it stays even when life gets difficult. It's the kind of peace that can't be explained by logic. It holds you steady during chaos and pain. It helps you stay calm and focused even when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. Life throws all kinds of challenges our way: money problems, health scares, broken relationships, job stress, loss. In those times, it's easy to feel crushed, to let fear take over, and to get buried in worry. But when God places His blessing on you, His peace becomes your shelter. It doesn't mean your struggles vanish, but it changes how you deal with them. It lifts you above the noise, the confusion, and the fear. It gives you the wisdom to choose wisely and the faith to keep going. It gives you strength to wake up each day and face what's ahead, knowing you are not on your own. God is right there with you through every storm. That peace is proof that God is near. It reassures you that He is holding your hand through every hard moment. When you're scared or unsure, His peace gently reminds you that you don't have to do everything alone. You can trust that He is working on your behalf, even when you can't see how things will turn out. His peace is a sign that He is bigger than your problems, and that with Him, you can face even the toughest situations with quiet strength and confidence. The peace from God also has the power to change you from the inside. It softens your heart, clears your mind, and changes how you see things. Instead of reacting with fear or anger, you begin to respond with calm trust. You start to understand that peace is not just a passing feeling. It's a way of living that comes from knowing who you are in God and believing in His promises. This peace becomes a witness to others. It shows people around you what it looks like to trust God in the middle of pain. Your calm presence becomes a light to others who are hurting. They'll see the steady hope in your eyes and feel the comfort of your peaceful spirit. God's peace doesn't just change you, it influences those around you. People will notice the quiet strength you carry, the way you handle trouble without falling apart. And in those moments, your peace becomes a powerful message. God is with you, and He is the one giving you the strength to keep going. So when you are surrounded by this kind of peace, know it's not just a feeling. It's a blessing. It's a gift from God, showing that He's with you every step you take. And that kind of peace is one of the most beautiful blessings you could ever have. Another incredible sign of God's blessing is when doors begin to open in your life, doors you couldn't have opened by yourself. These are not small chances, but powerful, life-changing opportunities. Doors that seemed closed and locked before begin to swing wide open. Paths that once looked impossible start to unfold clearly before your eyes. This is how God works when He is blessing you. We've all experienced times when we feel stuck. We try again and again, and yet nothing changes. We start to question whether our dreams are too big or if we'll ever get to where we want to go. But then, when we least expect it, God steps in. Not because of how hard we try, but because of His favor, His grace. He brings the right people, the right chance, the perfect timing. And suddenly, we're standing in front of open doors we never thought we'd reach. When God opens a door, it's special. It's not just about getting a new job or meeting the right person. It's about stepping into the path He's designed for you. And when you walk through that door, you feel His favor surrounding you. You know deep inside that this is exactly where you're supposed to be. Often, these blessings come in ways that surprise you. Unexpected meetings, offers you didn't see coming, support from places you never imagined. That's how God moves, quietly, powerfully, and perfectly. And through it all, you grow. You don't just walk through new doors. You become someone new. You become stronger, wiser, more focused. You become someone who no longer needs the approval of the world because you are already walking in God's plan. So if you're feeling peace without a reason, seeing new chances opening up, feeling your heart change, and noticing your goals shift towards something more meaningful, know that you're being blessed. God is working in your life. And His blessings are not just about what you get. They're about who you become. The doors that were once tightly closed begin to swing open, and suddenly you find yourself walking on a path you never could have navigated on your own. God's blessings often arrive with a divine timing that goes far beyond what we can understand. We might not always see the full picture, but when the moment is right, it becomes clear. The chances that come with God's blessings tend to show up at exactly the right moment, bringing a feeling of peace and understanding that reassures us it's not a coincidence. It's all part of God's perfect design for your life. It is through God's guidance that the road becomes clearer, your purpose becomes more focused, and you find yourself exactly where you need to be at just the right time. But these open doors bring more than just new chances. Every door that opens in your life, every opportunity that appears, carries with it a responsibility. It's a call to step forward, to rise to the moment, and to act with boldness and faith, walking in line with God's plan for your life. When you go through these doors, you're not just stepping into new opportunities. You're stepping into a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. You might not have every answer, but God will provide everything you need to succeed in the new season He's leading you into. When God opens doors in your life, it's a sign that He's getting you ready for something greater. It shows that He's working things out for you behind the scenes, arranging situations and events in ways you never could have imagined. He knows exactly what your heart longs for, and when the time is right, He creates a way even when it seems like there is no way forward. These breakthrough moments are reminders of God's constant love and faithfulness, proof that you're never walking this path alone. As you begin to notice these doors opening, trust God's timing. Believe that when one door shuts, it's not the end. It's simply clearing the way for a better door that He's preparing just for you. Some doors might close for a reason, but the ones He opens are full of meaning and promise. They lead you toward a future filled with peace, purpose, and blessings. Walk through them with courage, knowing that every opportunity is a sign of God's goodness, His plan for your life, and the amazing future He has in store for you. The open doors that come through God's blessings aren't just meant for your benefit alone. They're opportunities for you to grow, to serve, and to make a difference in the lives of others. As you walk through them, remember that you're walking under divine favor. Let your trust in God guide you with each step, confident that He's leading you closer to your destiny. And as you take that step, understand that the chances He gives you are far greater than anything you could have made happen by yourself. When God blesses you, it's much more than just physical gifts or visible success. While the world often measures blessings by money, status, or accomplishments, God's real blessings go much deeper. They bring about a real change within you. God's blessings shape your character, helping you become more like Him and bringing your life in line with His purpose. This kind of transformation isn't just about what you gain, it's about who you're becoming through the process. One powerful sign of God's blessings is how you grow in patience. Life's struggles and uncertainties often push us toward being impatient or frustrated. We want things to happen fast, and we get discouraged when things don't go our way. But when God is at work in your life, He starts growing patience in you. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's about waiting with peace and trust, believing that God's timing is always right. With patience, you learn that not everything needs to happen right away. Some of the best blessings take time to unfold, and trusting God during the waiting shows true faith. Alongside patience, God's blessings also grow your heart for kindness. In a world that often encourages selfishness and personal gain, kindness can feel rare. But as God blesses you, He softens your heart and increases your ability to show kindness, especially to those who can't repay you. You begin to see people as God sees them, each one valuable and deserving of love. Kindness becomes more than just a single action. It becomes part of who you are. Whether it's encouraging someone, helping them out, or simply listening with care, God's blessings change you into someone who reflects His love in the way you treat others. Another deep change that comes through God's blessings is the way you grow in love, for God and for others. When He blesses you, He teaches you to love in a deeper, more powerful way. Not just those who are easy to love, but also those who have hurt you or challenged you. God's love has no limits, and as you experience it, you begin to share that kind of love in your own life. You realize that love isn't just about feelings. It's a choice and an action, a decision to care, to forgive, and to put others ahead of yourself. This change in how you love transforms how you relate to people, and you become a source of God's love in a world that truly needs it. But God's blessings don't stop there. They also help grow traits like humility, self-control, and faithfulness. Humility helps you understand that your successes and blessings aren't just from your own effort, they're a result of God's grace. When you recognize that everything good in your life is a gift from God, humility becomes a natural part of your life. You no longer seek attention or praise, but instead you want to honor God in all you do. Self-control is another powerful gift that grows through God's blessings. In a world that encourages quick pleasure and easy rewards, self-control helps you choose what is right, even when it's hard. It gives you the strength to walk away from temptation and make choices that honor God. As God works in your life, you'll find it easier to resist things that go against His will and choose a life that reflects His truth. With more self-control, your life becomes more peaceful and in harmony with God's path, rather than driven by personal impulses. Then there's faithfulness. As God continues to show you His favor, He also builds your trust in His promises. You start to see that He is trustworthy in everything, and in return, you become more faithful in your journey with Him. Being faithful means continuing to serve, to love, and to follow God, even when things are hard. It means staying committed to your purpose, your calling, and your relationship with Him, no matter what comes your way. This change in your character isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process that takes place over time. It's a journey where God gently shapes you, forms you, and grows you into someone who reflects His love and image to the world. It's through this process that you not only experience His blessings, you become a blessing to others. Your life becomes a powerful message of God's goodness, and your actions start to shine with His grace. When God blesses you, it's not just about giving you things, it's about helping you grow in ways that bring you closer to Jesus. This change, this growth in patience, kindness, love, humility, self-control, and faithfulness, is the most powerful blessing of all. It changes your life, and it touches the lives of everyone around you. It draws people closer to God through your example. That's the true power of being blessed. When God blesses you, He changes you, and through that change, you become a light that reflects His truth and love to the world. One of the biggest transformations that happens when God blesses you is that your desires begin to line up with His greater purpose for your life. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to chase after money, success, and popularity. It's easy to get caught up in running after things that don't really satisfy. But when God's blessings start to take shape in your life, they shift your focus. You begin to seek something much more meaningful, His will and purpose for you. As you experience God's blessings, you start to understand that real fulfillment doesn't come from money or success. It comes from living in step with God's plan. The things you once thought would make you happy, fame, wealth, approval, start to feel small compared to the deep peace and joy that come from following God. You begin to realize that His plan for your life isn't just about what you do, it's about who you're becoming along the way. And when your desires match His, your life gains a new kind of purpose and meaning. God's plan for your life is often far greater than anything you could have planned for yourself. When you let His blessings guide your path, you find that He's not just leading you to personal success. He's leading you to serve others, make an impact, and be part of something eternal. That new way of seeing things brings a kind of peace and satisfaction that the world can't offer. It's not about chasing personal goals. It's about knowing that your life is being used for something much bigger than yourself. And when you follow His purpose, you start to see how He's using your talents, your story, and your experiences to bless others and build His kingdom. Bless others and bring honor to His name. As you align more closely with God's will, your dreams and ambitions begin to reflect His heart. You stop chasing after things that don't last and start focusing on what holds value forever. Things like love, kindness, fairness, and compassion. Your priorities begin to shift, and you start to feel joy in helping others, making a difference, and being a channel for God's love and truth. This kind of joy doesn't come from being noticed by the world, but from knowing that you're walking in the special calling God has given you. When your heart aligns with God's purpose, you begin to feel a calm sense of direction. Life can often feel confusing, and sometimes we question if we're heading the right way. But when your life is aligned with what God wants, you feel a kind of peace that comes from knowing you're right where you should be, doing what you were created to do. That doesn't mean the journey will always be simple, but it does mean you'll walk with purpose, with the understanding that each step is in harmony with His plan. Even when things get tough, you'll feel comfort in knowing you are on the path God has laid out for you, and He's right there with you, every single step. God's blessings help you see what it really means to live out your purpose. You begin to understand that it's not only about reaching personal goals, but about bringing glory to God and playing a part in something much bigger than yourself. You come to see that everything you do, whether it's in your work, in your relationships, or in acts of kindness, is part of God's grand design. This realization changes how you view your daily life. Every action, no matter how small, becomes a chance to serve Him and follow His purpose. You stop looking at life's difficulties as problems and begin to view them as moments to grow, to gain wisdom, and to carry out the purpose He has given you. When your goals match God's larger plan, it also becomes easier to see what really matters. You begin caring less about temporary things and more about what holds eternal weight. The things of this world that used to catch your eye lose their pull, and you start to find lasting joy in what truly counts: loving God, loving people, and being of service in His name. This is the beauty of being in step with God's will. It changes what you long for, transforming them into things that matter forever. When God blesses you, He guides you to a life of real meaning, not through status or personal success, but by helping you live according to His will. Your wants move away from the short term and toward what lasts, and you find peace and joy in knowing that your life fits perfectly into His greater plan. As you continue down this path, you feel a kind of happiness and satisfaction that only comes from living in step with God's purpose. You understand you're part of something divine, and your life carries meaning beyond this world. That's the true blessing God gives. When your desires match His plan, not only do you live out the purpose He created for you, but you also find a joy that the world simply can't offer. When God pours out His blessings on your life, the sense of contentment you feel goes far beyond the temporary happiness that comes from things like money or recognition. While many people run after wealth, fame, or success hoping those things will make them feel complete, God's blessings offer something far more valuable and lasting. True fulfillment doesn't rely on how much money you have, the kind of car you drive, or how many awards you win. It comes from the deep knowledge that you are walking under God's favor, that your life is in harmony with His purpose, and that you are exactly where He has placed you. Yes, material things can bring short-term comfort, but they cannot meet the deep need for meaning and peace in your heart. They may bring a quick sense of joy, but they will never offer the lasting calm and satisfaction that come from living within God's purpose. The more you chase after worldly success without involving God, the more you might feel empty, no matter how good things may look on the outside. The truth is, only God can truly satisfy the deepest places in your soul. When you are blessed by God, your heart begins to realize that true contentment comes from being in His favor. This kind of satisfaction isn't tied to your situation or surroundings. It's rooted in a calm peace, a strong purpose, and a steady joy that come from knowing your life is on the path God chose for you. There's nothing more fulfilling than knowing you are doing exactly what you were created to do. In that space, you begin to experience peace that can't be explained, joy that the world can't steal, and satisfaction that doesn't rely on what you do or don't have. God's blessings bring you a kind of calm that lets you know you are in the right place at the right moment, following the journey He mapped out for you. This peace doesn't come from proving your worth or seeking approval from others. It comes from knowing that God sees you, cares for you, and has a specific plan just for you. When you live according to His will, you gain a deep sense of contentment that the highs and lows of life can't shake. God also shows you that fulfillment isn't about piling up more things, but about how you use what He's already given you. This shift in mindset is freeing. When you start seeing your time, your money, your skills, and your energy not as things to keep for yourself, but as gifts meant to be shared, you'll feel a deeper kind of joy. The happiness you gain from helping others, from living with honesty, and from creating a positive impact in the world is much greater than any momentary thrill that material things can give. This kind of fulfillment is not based on how much you have, because it's not affected by the ups and downs of what you own. Material things come and go. They can be taken away, and they often leave people wanting more. But the joy and purpose that come from God's blessings are lasting. It's the kind of satisfaction that doesn't wear off, that doesn't force you to keep chasing more, and that doesn't depend on how wealthy or successful you seem to be. It's the fulfillment that grows from walking in God's plan, trusting His guidance, and knowing that He has already given you what you need for a meaningful life. As your bond with God grows, you start to see that the most important blessings are not the ones you can see or touch, but the ones that live in your heart. Love, peace, joy, and purpose. These flow directly from God's hand and are more valuable than anything money can buy. This deep satisfaction comes from fully trusting God's goodness and staying open to His direction. When you follow His path, you come to learn that real happiness comes from living with obedience, helping others, and being content with what He's provided. In this way, God's blessings release you from the constant race for success and possessions. They help you focus on what really counts, loving God, loving others, and living a life that shows His love and truth. Real fulfillment is not found in what you own, but in who you are becoming. When you walk in God's purpose, serve Him and others, and live out the plan He made for you, that's where true blessing lives. God's blessings bring peace and a steady sense of joy that this world simply can't offer. When you know you are living inside of His plan, when you know you're standing right where He wants you, you experience a kind of joy that goes far beyond anything the world gives. It's a peace that runs deeper than money, richer than fame, and more lasting than anything this life has to offer. And it's this kind of fulfillment, rooted in God's love and His purpose for your life, that is the most powerful blessing of all.